Most people believe that this ocean is entirely blue, but in reality, it's green. Today, I'm here to shatter everything you thought you knew about our planet. From fake countries to impossible mountains, from lying maps to twisted facts about famous places, the truth is stranger than you think. Think about it. How many times have you looked at a map and trusted it? What if I told you that almost everything you see on those maps is distorted? Now, let's get started with our countdown of the 50 biggest geography lies that you believed. Everyone says Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, right? Well, that's only true if you measure from sea level to summit. If you measure from the ocean floor, Mauna Kea in Hawaii is actually taller, over 33,000 feet. Everest just pokes highest above sea level, but Mauna Kea is the true giant if you count its whole height. Next time you hear someone talk about Everest being the tallest, you'll know the real answer. Picture the Sahara Desert, and your mind probably fills with endless rolling sand dunes, right? But only about 25% of the Sahara is actually covered in sand. The rest is rocky plateaus, gravel plains, rugged mountains, and even some green valleys. So, the next time someone calls the Sahara a giant sandbox, drop this fact on them. You've probably heard that the Amazon River is the longest in the world, but most textbooks still say it's the Nile. Some recent measurements say the Amazon is actually longer, especially if you include its longest tributaries. But the Nile has been traditionally recognized as the longest for centuries. It depends on how you measure and where you decide the river starts and ends. This is one of those geography debates that even experts argue over. So next time someone asks, you can say, it's a tie, unless someone finds a new, longer branch of the Amazon. How many times have you heard that the Great Wall of China is visible from space? Sorry, but that's just a myth. Astronauts have confirmed it's almost impossible to see with the naked eye from orbit. Cities and airports are much easier to spot from space than the wall. So, the next time someone says the Great Wall is the only man-made object you can see from space, you'll know it's completely false. This one might sound obvious, but you'd be shocked how many people still believe Africa is a country. In reality, Africa is a massive continent made up of 54 countries, each with its own unique cultures, languages and landscapes. Greenland sounds like it should be a lush, green paradise, but it's mostly covered in ice. Over 80% of Greenland is blanketed by a massive ice sheet. Meanwhile, Iceland is much greener and more temperate thanks to its volcanic activity and milder climate. Australia is the world's smallest continent, but it's definitely not the smallest country. The smallest country in the world is actually Vatican City, which could fit inside Australia millions of times over. So don't mix up continent size with country size. You might think the equator is the hottest place on Earth, but that's not always true. Some of the world's hottest spots, like Death Valley or the Lut Desert, are actually north of the equator. The equator is warm year-round, but it doesn't hold the record for the highest temperatures. Most people think of Europe and Asia as completely separate continents, but they're actually part of the same massive landmass called Eurasia. The dividing line is mostly cultural and historical, not physical. Everyone imagines Antarctica as being permanently buried in snow, but some parts are actually dry and rocky. The McMurdo Dry Valleys are some of the driest places on Earth, with almost no snow at all. You've probably heard that the Dead Sea is the lowest place on Earth, but that's only true for dry land. The real lowest point is the Mariana Trench, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Russia is so massive, it actually stretches across both Europe and Asia. The Ural Mountains are often used as the dividing line, with the western part of Russia in Europe and the eastern part in Asia. It's common to think the United States is the largest country by area, but that honor actually goes to Russia, followed by Canada and then the US. Russia is almost twice as big as the US. Here's one that's actually true. The Pacific Ocean is the largest body of water on Earth. It covers more area than all the land on the planet combined. The Pacific is home to entire continents, thousands of islands, and the deepest trenches on Earth. Most people think the Amazon rainforest is the largest forest in the world. But the boreal forests, also called taiga, of Russia and Canada are actually larger. The Amazon is the biggest tropical rainforest, but the boreal forests win in total size. Picture the North Pole, and you might imagine standing on a snowy island. But in reality, the North Pole is just a spot in the middle of the Arctic Ocean, covered by floating sea ice. There's no land beneath, just water and ice that shifts and melts with the seasons. People say the South Pole is the coldest place on Earth, and that's mostly true. But some parts of Antarctica, especially high ridges, get even colder than the pole itself. Most people think of Japan as 4 main islands, but the country actually consists of over 6,800 islands. The 4 biggest, Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu and Shikoku, make up most of the land and population. People often mix up the United Kingdom, Great Britain and England, but they're not interchangeable. The UK includes England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Great Britain is just the island that includes England, Scotland and Wales. The Middle East is often talked about like it's a continent, but it's actually a region that spans parts of Asia, Africa and Europe. It's made up of many different countries, from Saudi Arabia to Egypt to Turkey. You might think the Mediterranean Sea is the saltiest, but that record goes to the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea's salt concentration is so high you can float without even trying. The Mississippi River is famous for its size, but the Missouri River is actually longer. The Missouri starts in Montana and joins the Mississippi in Missouri, making it about 100 miles longer overall. The Alps are legendary, but they aren't Europe's highest mountains. That title goes to the Caucasus Mountains, which include Mount Elbrus, the tallest peak in Europe. The Sahara is the largest hot desert, but the biggest desert on Earth is actually Antarctica. Antarctica is dry, frozen, and technically the largest desert by area. When you hear Great Barrier Reef, you probably think of one giant coral reef. But it's actually a system made up of over 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands. The Amazon River can become unbelievably wide during the rainy season. up to 24 miles across in places, but at its narrowest, it can shrink to just a few miles.